Hello, everybody, and welcome to another week of Let's Talk. I am your host, author Dre Lett. Thank you for tuning in to my show where we inform, inspire, and motivate. We get you going, get you going, get you going during these tough times and beyond. So come on in and have a seat so we can let's talk. Every week you can watch my show, all the shows on my Facebook page, which is Let's Talk with author Dre Lett, or the pre-recorded shows on YouTube. As you can see, the information scrolling down there at the bottom of the screen, as well as you can purchase my books and read a bio about me and information about the books. So I'm super excited to have you tune in for another week. Yes, indeed. So, you guys, tonight is a Fiction Friday. Yes, I love Fiction Fridays because, as you guys know, I am an author and I love reading. I love writing books and I love my fellow authors. And I always love to find a way to showcase their talent as well. So, tonight, my guest is best selling author Danielle Bannister. She is here to unveil her new book. She'll be on the virtual stage in a few minutes. But first, I have a quick message from our sponsors. So stay tuned here. All right. So you guys saw that message from our sponsor. Okay. So you guys, now is the time where I recognize my live virtual studio audience. You guys can be a part of the audience if you're watching this pre-recording. All you have to do is go to my Facebook page, which is Let's Talk with author Dre Lett. And there you can be a part of the audience. You can comment and ask the guest questions and things of that nature. So make sure you look into that. So I like to recognize those who are tuning in with me and to give them a shout out where they're viewing from, that kind of thing. All right. So we have Rockin' Richard Houston. Yes. Hello, sir. He is watching from Detroit. How I know, because he's one of my loyal viewers. Hey, Richard. Let's see here. Yes, mommy in love. Mwah. She is watching from Vegas. Yes. How are you? One of the producers of the show, my husband. Mwah. I love you, babe. He always says he's watching from the man cave. Hilarious. He is though, but okay. And Kojak. Hey, Kojak, how are you, sir? He is also a very loyal viewer. Him and his family. We call them the super family. And cousin Diana, yes, tuning in from Vegas. She says, hello, all. Looking forward to the weekend starting now. I know, right? I know, right? So glad to see you tuning in, cuz love you, love you, love you. All right. So I appreciate you guys tuning in, and the rest of you that are watching. If you don't want to say anything, I totally understand. But you're more than welcome to chime in and ask questions. So, you guys, in hot topics, yes, I know you've been watching the news. How could you not miss this? Yes, I am super excited. You see the smile on my face? So, in hot topics, President Joe Biden, he committed to nominating the nation's first Black female Supreme Court justice. Yes, as he honored retiring Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer at the White House on Thursday. President Biden said in his words, quote, the person I will nominate will be someone with extraordinary qualifications, character, experience, and integrity. Absolutely. And he also goes on to say, and that person would be the first Black woman ever nominated to the United States Supreme Court, Biden said. He went on to say, quote, it's long overdue in my view. I made that commitment during the campaign for president, and I will keep that commitment. Outstanding. I'm super excited. He just put a smile on my face and smile on many other little Black girls and women to just make us feel good because we can now have our seat at the table. So I'm super excited. I am. Our country is diverse. It is made up of all colors and race and religion, and that the Supreme Court should display just that, a representation of our country. So I'm super excited. You guys comment on that. Let me know how you feel about it. I just can't stop smiling. I think it's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And for those little kids or little Black girls in school, that gives them something to inspire and work towards if they want to be a lawyer. And that's something they want to shoot for. That's saying, in the words of former President Obama, yes, we can. So super excited. Okay, so moving along in hot topics, you guys, I got to get on my soapbox. I know, I have to do it. Lately, I have been seeing so much evil and so many evil things being said and people doing evil things to each other. And I'm thinking to myself, don't these people get it? We're living in the last days, I believe. You know, you got a pandemic, you got people dying. Every time I turn on the news, it's a celebrity that died, it's somebody's relative. I mean, it's just a really bad time. And people are just being nasty to one another. I don't even understand it. So, yes, indeed, I'm going to say my 2 cents. And so I just want you guys to know, if somebody says, or remind you, I should say, if someone says something evil to you or do something evil to you, I want you to take a deep breath, gather your composure, and bite your tongue. Yes, I said it, bite your tongue and pray for them. I know it's going to be hard. I know the first human impulse is to, lash back out or say something evil back or whatever the case may be, but don't. Just pray for them because, the Bible, the scripture talks about Proverbs 3:33. And it says, quote, the Lord's curse is on the house of the wicked, but he blesses the home of the righteous. If you want to continue to be blessed and have a fruitful life, just, do right and just pray for them and don't stoop to their level. Another scripture goes on to say, for those of you that know scriptures and for those of you that don't, Genesis 50:20 says, you meant evil against me, but God used it for good. So as they're over there plotting and saying and doing mean things, don't even give it any energy to it. Just pray for them. And lastly, like the former First Lady Michelle Obama says, when they go low, you go high. I know it's hard. I know it's hard, but you have to. Don't stoop to their level, no matter what. Let's see what the comments is saying. Yes, ignore them. That is so true. And that's probably one of the toughest things to do as a human being is to ignore it and to bite your tongue and just not stoop to their level. It is. Let's see here. Okay, Richard's recording back to the nominee that we're going to have here soon, the first Black woman. He says the time is right. Thank you, Mr. President. Absolutely. Yes, we have to represent. The Supreme Court should look like the United States, right? All races, all religions, all everything. So again, going back to what I was saying about, just biting your tongue and moving on. Don't stoop to their level. And I know it's easy to do, but try not to. So that's all I had to say for you guys. I just want you guys to remember that. So without further ado, yes, I am going to formally introduce my guest. Yes, indeed. I am super excited to have her on. That I'm going to share something with you guys first as I introduce her. Okay. So, my guest is author Danielle Bannister, who also writes under the name Danny Bannister. She is a best selling author who lives with her two teenagers in Mid Coast, Maine, along with her precious peppermint mocha creamer. She holds a BA degree in theater from the University of Southern Maine, and her master's is in literary education from the University of Orano. When she's not on the stage or on the page, you'll find her binge watching Marvel movies as one does. So I'm super excited. You guys, please help me welcome to the virtual stage Miss Danielle Bannister. Hey, lady.
Hi, how are
How
you?
are you? So glad you could join us.
Happy to be here. Happy to be here.
Absolutely. Now I understand you guys got a monster storm headed your way. Oh,
Yeah, tomorrow we've got about 20 inches coming our way.
oh my gosh. So
Yeah,
did you go get all the food and get everything you need?
all the
And
bread, all the milk, you
wow.
just you buckle in, and Sunday will be a day of shoveling out because it's also going to be like 40 to 50-mile gusts of wind, so there's
Oh,
probably going to be power. It's going to be miserable. Tomorrow's just going to be miserable. So,
oh. So
but
you just curl up with a good book, right? One of your
exactly, exactly. It's a 5-book day, so just let it be.
That's it. I totally understand. I grew up in Michigan, and I remember those days, and I do
Yeah.
not miss it. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
bless your heart. Well, I'm glad you could join us. So glad you could join us. So, I was, as you and I have talked and reading through your bio and looking at your books and everything, you're an amazing author. And I see you've been writing for 10 years. What got you started in writing, and what keeps you going these 10 years later?
Well, I got started, funnily enough, when I had kids. As you read in my bio, I was a theater major, so that was going to be my goal in life. That was what I was going to do. I was going to be on Broadway, and I was going to perform, and it was going to be brilliant. And then, life happens, and acting doesn't really pay well, and you get hungry, and you decide you need a regular job that pays the bills. And I suddenly found myself with two children in diapers and no creative outlet. I couldn't just go and do community theater and fill that cup because I was nursing two children and they
Yeah.
needed mom. And there was no mom. I was just mom. I had no identity outside of me, and I was going a little crazy. I was going a little crazy.
I
And,
understand.
yeah, and so I started reading books, which wasn't something that I was necessarily an avid reader when I was younger. I wanted to be on the stage, so that wasn't something that was on my radar. But when you have kids, you've gotta entertain yourself quietly sometimes when they're napping, and so I pick up a
Mhm.
book, and I remember reading the back of a book one day about this mom who had 3 kids, and she was writing books. I was like, "She can do that with kids?" And I just sat down and started writing a story that I wanted to know, a story that I thought would be exciting, and sent it to another mom friend of mine, and I'm like, "This is only 10 pages, but is it okay?" And she's like, "Give me more." So it sort of started from there. It started from that need to have a creative outlet when I was in a place
Mhm.
where I couldn't have a creative outlet, and that's what keeps me going now. Now, obviously, my kids are in high school, so I can go out and I can do theater, and I can, well, could pre-COVID, but you know, s- but it's that being able to sort of, play these different characters and see these different scenarios that I
Mhm.
just absolutely love to do. So that keeps me going, just the creative outlet, the filling of that creative cup, I guess.
It's almost like you from one author to it's almost like you can disappear,
Yeah.
right? You can just
Yeah.
get into your own world and just
Yeah.
write. That's awesome.
We escape right along with our
Yes,
readers.
yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's an awesome outlet. But that's awesome. That's awesome. So, what type of advice would you give to someone who's looking to become a writer and do a novel of their own?
Well, I think, manage your expectations first and foremost. I think sometimes people think it's gonna be easy to write a
Yes.
book,
No, it's not.
and it's not.
Well,
And I think people sometimes think they're gonna make a lot of money once they hit the publish button, and you're not.
no.
So just kind of manage your expectations. You're not gonna be an
Mhm,
overnight success. You need
mhm.
to learn how to do this, and it's gonna take time. This is a long
Yes.
haul sort of career that you would be stepping into. Um, but I guess outside of that, I'll borrow some advice from fellow Mainer Stephen King. Write a lot and read a lot. There are no substitutes. So
Mhm.
if you wanna write books, read a lot of them and write a lot of them.
That is so true. Oh my gosh, that's so true. That's right, he's from Maine.
He
Wow.
is. He's about an hour away from where I am.
Oh,
So
wow,
yeah.
that is so cool. Yeah, that's so true. You gotta keep pushing because it doesn't happen overnight. It
No,
just
it does
doesn't.
not.
Mm-mm. Unless
No,
you're
it does not.
lucky, but
You can't
yeah,
get discouraged. You just
right.
gotta keep
Keep
write
going.
the next one, and write the next one, and write the next one, and one
Yep,
of them might stick.
exactly. Absolutely, and that's why I love supporting authors because you guys get it, and we're all in this together. So
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely. So this is a good question, and I know I personally struggled
Mm,
during the pandemic.
mm.
There were a lot of creative types that struggled to get out new work. Was
Uh-huh. Yep.
that true for you, or were you able to work through it?
For probably the first, like, couple of months, I think I was, like most people, just panic stricken, glued to the
Mhm.
TV, like, "What's happening?" I didn't dare
Yeah.
leave my house. I'm like
Yeah.
taking notes of, like, how many died today, and
I know.
it was a little obsessive, and I was like,
Yeah.
"I can't stop. I have to stop. I can't
Mhm.
keep watching this because it was bringing me down."
Yes.
And
So
so
true.
I found myself that I couldn't write her and I couldn't do anything because I felt like, well, the future is so uncertain. What am I writing this for? We might not have a future. It was very dramatic, very dramatic.
Yes.
So what I did is I basically resorted to old favorites, old books that I loved, old movies that I loved,
Mm,
things that I knew I already loved, and I knew there was no anxiety about how these
yeah.
stories were going to end. I knew where the sad moments were, I knew where the happy moments were, and so that was sort of a balm to the sort of creative muse. It was like, oh yeah, that's what we loved when we started writing with
Mhm.
stories like this. And so after probably maybe a month of just sort of cleansing my creative palette, I was able to write again. But yeah, sometimes just tuning out some of that
Mhm.
gloom and doom
Yes.
can help the creative spirit for sure.
Definitely. I was one of those ones like you in the beginning, glued every minute, every hour. And then I got to a point where I said, you know what? I want to be informed, but let me just watch 20 minutes a day just to see what's going on and turn it
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Get the
'Cause
update and then
that's it.
step away.
Exactly.
Step
Step
away. You don't
away.
have to watch it all day long.
Exactly. Absolutely. So you write with different pen names. I
I do.
noticed that there's Danielle Bannister, then there's Danny Bannister. Can you tell us
Yes.
a little about each of them and what chose you to write in a different pen name?
Yeah, so the pen name is new as of this year. So for the
Oh,
last 10
okay.
years I have written under Danielle Bannister, and I've written in about 7 or 8 different genres. I've written
Oh.
in fantasy, paranormal, young adult, sweet romance, sexy romance. I was all over the place because, I'm a creative person and I was just kind of going wherever the muse wanted to go. You want to write
Mhm.
a high school drama? Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
But what I wasn't really thinking about, I did not have sort of my business hat, is
Um,
that readers didn't know what to expect from me. I mean, I guess they knew to expect the unexpected but they didn't know, were they going to get a romance? Were they going to get a suspense? They
mm,
didn't know what to get. And worse off, the algorithms didn't know where to put me. And so
um,
I was not doing myself any marketing favors by being so wide and so diverse. I mean, think about some of the big authors that
mhm.
they're not messing around in multiple genres for the most part. They know their lane and they
You're
stay in it.
staying in it. That's
And
so
they
smart.
keep driving down that lane, and that's what
Mhm,
makes them successful. Readers
mhm.
know what to expect when they pick up a Stephen King book, right?
Mhm,
They
mhm.
know what to expect. And so 10 years later, I realized, hmm, maybe I should differentiate the types of books that I write. And so I took all of the books that I've written and go, okay, what are the books that I can let go of, the genres that don't bring me maybe the same joy as they used to. And so I was able to sort of clean house on some of those genres, and I drilled down to sort of two, a romantic suspense line and then a romance line that's going to have more of the sexy kind of stuff. So we've got Danielle Bannister for the suspense now and Danny Bannister for more of the sexy stuff. So
Oh, okay. I
we'll
love
see if
it.
it works. It's an
I love
experiment.
it. Yes, I love it. That's the beauty of, being an author and being an entrepreneur and being self-published. You can switch it up anytime you
Yep,
want to.
yep, you
You don't
can.
have anybody telling you, no, you got to do it this way.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's awesome. I love
yeah,
it. I love it. So, if someone were new to your books, what could they expect to find when they pick one up? I know you talked about the sexy and the romance and
yeah.
are there any surprises? Are any thrillers or?
Yeah, I mean, I tend to like to write, broken characters, flawed characters that
Mhm. Me too.
that just are just damaged and broken, and so the arc is them, sort of
Hmm.
finding their own sort of redemption. So there's a thread of hope in any genre book that I write, from fantasy to suspense to sweet romance. I'm gonna take my characters, write them up a tree, and throw rocks at them because
Yep.
that's the writer's job.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna see, how do they get themselves out of that position? How do they
Mm.
get themselves out of the tree? And that to me is the journey of the book. So it's hard because I write in so many genres to sort of know what to expect. But usually you can expect laughter, tears, and all the good feels is usually
Aw.
what you can expect.
Wow, and that's what it's all about, escaping, picking up a good book, and that's amazing that you
Yeah.
can have them laugh and cry and absolutely, that's what
Have
it's
them feel
about.
something. Take a journey,
Yep.
have them step into somebody else's shoes. It's all about, empathy and
Mhm.
learning empathy of other people that maybe aren't like you, and seeing
And you
how
see it
somebody
from
else lives.
yeah, see it from a different set of eyes. That's so
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
So tell us about your new book. I got the logo sitting up there. What's
Yes.
it all about?
Yeah, so Where You Left Me is my first, novella in my Danny Bannister line. It's going to be a series of novellas that center around the same two characters. It's going to involve this lady, Jasmine, who is left at the altar, literally at the altar, the day
Aw.
of everybody's in the church, and her husband runs off with one of the bridesmaids, and she's
Oh,
left there holding her flowers, like,
oh.
I've got two choices. Either I can wallow and go run and hide and cry and be woe is me, or I can pick a volunteer from the waiting crowd, get married, and still go on my cruise to the Bahamas.
Ha.
So that's the premise of
I love it.
the book.
I love that. I mean, it's sad that it happens to her, but I love in that, I always love the underdog. She's
Yeah,
picking up. She's still going to keep going
I'm
on.
I'm doing it. I paid for this. We're doing it.
I know that's right. Oh my goodness, I love that. So what about your other books? Is there any other books that you've got that you're working on or anything you
Oh, yeah.
recommend?
My goodness, yes. I'm working on the next, sort of downline of that, novella series, because 'cause I'm trying to have that be a rapid release, so within a few months of each other, there'll be a next book in that series.
Okay.
I just recently this summer released Girl on Fire with, City Owl Press. That's my, suspense. That's about a pyromaniac.
Oh.
Completely different feel from
Ooh.
the romantic, get this really dark character and then this really
Oh.
wild and crazy character. So I'm kind of all over the map. But I think that has, everything to do with being an actor and, always putting on those different hats and always, wanting to play a variety of characters. So I want to create these characters that are just as diverse as the characters that I like to play when I'm on the stage. So the more diverse, the better for me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Diversity, definitely. So tell us a little bit about your acting. So what kind of plays have you been in and
Yeah, so I've done a lot of being in Maine, I'm doing a lot of community theater because
Okay.
the theater scene is is small in rural Maine. But, I'm doing the odd Shakespeare here or there. This was, again, pre-COVID. I mean, the
Yeah.
last show I was in was happening literally as things were shutting down. We had
Wow.
one night, maybe 2 nights of performances, and then they shut us down.
Oh,
And
wow.
then we were off for a year and then came back and did it outside.
Oh.
So it's such a bizarre experience, but there is some freedom in theater, and in having a theater background, it really, I found, works really well to an author background, because when you are in the theater, you have 2 hours to tell a story start to
Mhm,
finish, and
mhm.
anything that's in that 2 hours needs to be there, right? You've only got 2 hours to tell a story, so it makes the writing economical. It needs to be there for the story, and so I find that I write that way as well. It's page turning. It's like you need to know what happens next,
Yeah.
and it's fast because that's sort of how theater is too. You've got this one moment. So I think that that has actually helped me in writing, just understanding that pacing of how theater is, to keep the pacing up in the books, which is such a huge thing in books. Attention
Mhm.
spans these days,
Yes.
if you are not engaging somebody on the first paragraph or the
They're
first,
gone.
you used to be able to get away with what, 3 chapters before
Right.
somebody said, "No, this isn't for me." No, you get like a paragraph or 2 and that's it. Sometimes just the first line and that's it. There's
You gotta
so
come
many
up with that
choices,
feeling.
right?
Yeah.
So it's definitely hard. It's definitely hard.
Definitely, definitely. And I was just saying, discussing this over with my husband, that unfortunately, your average reader, when I grew up, the readers was just, the numbers were there.
Yeah,
And it's like now with movies and TV and social media, the numbers have, come down quite a
yeah,
bit in
yeah,
reading. So you're right. Now you got to come out swinging that
yeah.
first paragraph that grab them,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, and then you've gotta hold them. I mean, it's that.
Yes.
You gotta hold them and not let go, and that's tricky. I mean, that's definitely not the sort of stories that we probably grew up reading. I mean, I
Right.
remember having to slog through a lot of books going, "When
Yes.
does it get good?"
Right.
Be like 100, 200 pages before the story picked up. You can't do
Right.
that now. You can't do that.
No, mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely, definitely. Oh my gosh. So I'm looking at the comments and people are chiming in. Do you guys have any questions for Danielle? Let's see here. I'm going to scroll through. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Somebody said here, real life happened. Yes, that happens to all of us. So I had 2 kids too, and
Yeah.
that's what got me to writing. I was
Yeah.
in a miserable, anyway, I
Yeah.
just started writing.
I feel you. I feel you.
Somebody asked the question: do you see yourself wanting to write something now based on what the world is dealing with in today's time? That's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, it's a possibility. I mean, I write romance, so primarily romance needs a happy ever after, right? So
Mhm.
it, sometimes real world stuff is too like dark and heavy, and I just want an escape from that. So
Okay.
I'm writing more. I guess you'd call it maybe popcorn fiction. The stuff that you're just gonna, I'm tuning out the world now for a little bit, and I'm gonna go and escape with my fun characters, and the real world can handle itself when I get back. So I like to think of myself as an escapism bubble.
Okay, I love that answer. Yeah, and then also for the reader too, they want to escape too. They don't want to
Yeah,
be, yeah, reminded
yeah.
of the other
The
things.
real
Okay.
world is a hard place.
Uh-huh. It is. It is. Somebody said, "I hear myself through your words." Absolutely. And somebody says, your stuff, definitely, in terms of marketing with writing books and all of that. Oh my gosh, that is so true. And somebody's comment said, "Interesting," and they love it. Yes, you want to escape.
Yeah,
Definitely, that is the big thing about it,
yeah.
is to escape. So tell us, if you don't mind, tell us about your podcast. Is that dealing with
Oh,
other
yeah.
authors?
Yeah, so I do a podcast called, Bound by Books, um,
Oh,
and it's a group of, a few authors that got together. We're basically a marketing little group that got together and just talking about ideas that Have you tried this? Have you heard about this? And one day we said, have we thought about trying to maybe to do a podcast? And so we researched, how does one do a podcast? And so, yeah, we do a podcast now. We do that every Monday, noon Eastern Central Time. And then that we also broadcast that onto YouTube. So you can
Okay.
either watch on wherever you listen to your audio stuff, but you could also watch us if you want to watch us basically kind of like this. um we talk, and some of us are animated, and we're all romance authors, but we write in sort of different genres, so we can sometimes speak to different things, and we try to talk about things that are going on writing wise, reading wise. If it has something to do about books, we're probably going to talk about it.
Mhm. Awesome. I love it. I love it. Because that's what we're doing now, and I love to put on my headset and clean house or whatever and listen to the different
Yeah.
podcasts and
Yeah,
give
it's
this review.
amazing how
Yes,
how big the podcast
it
thing
is.
is. It's grown a lot.
It really has.
Yeah.
It really, really has. Have you thought about writing any scripts for movies or anything like that?
You would think that script writing would be something that I would entertain, but it's not. I don't know why. It's such a complete different medium. In fact, I'm writing another novel, another romance that actually involves actors rehearsing a play. And instead of writing a play that they could
Mhm.
rehearse, like a normal author might do, I said, you know what? I think that's outside of my capability. And so I tapped another local Maine playwright, Randy Hunt, and I said, hey, would you be interested in writing a full length play that my characters would rehearse?
Ah.
And he's like, sure. So he wrote a complete play based on the specifics that I needed for my characters, completely different. Like his play is like a serious play, and mine is like a light romance. So, but it's it's such a fun collaboration. I really do love collaborating with people and tapping skills that that I don't have. But, and that way we can, when it comes time to, promote this book, we'll each be able to sort of cross promote each other too. So there's a
Yeah,
fun way to do that too, right?
that's
So
awesome.
yeah,
I love it. I love it. And I see all those books behind you. Those are all your books, right? Oh my
those are my books. Yes.
God.
Yes. I
So,
have
so
16 out. This one will be number 17 that comes out in
wow.
February. Yeah.
That's awesome, Danielle. Oh my goodness. That is so awesome. So how can anybody purchase your books? Do they go on your website? Do
Yep,
they
you can find me at daniellebannister.com, or just type in Danielle Bannister on Amazon or wherever you buy your books. I'm wide. The latest release, Where You Left Me, is under Danny Bannister, so you'd have to search that. Um, but I'm all over the place. I've got, the newsletters, and I'm on the TikTok. I don't know what I'm doing on the TikTok, but I'm on the TikTok,
you
doing the
are?
things. I am. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm there.
So what do you do on TikTok? I watch TikTok all the time. Are you telling jokes to get people to what do you do?
No! I don't know what I'm doing. I'm making it up as I go. I don't know. Every day I'm like, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? I,
I
I have
thought
I
about
have
doing that.
no I have no platform. I don't know what I'm doing.
I thought about doing it on TikTok and I'm like, oh, I don't know. It could go viral in a
I'm
bad way.
trying. I'm trying, but I just don't know what I'm doing yet. I'm floundering. That's what I'm doing.
Okay, okay. Well, I'm gonna check you out because sometimes I'm one of those bad ones. I can be on TikTok for hours and
Oh,
I'll look at you
same.
like,
Oh,
oh my
same.
God,
Oh,
it's
same.
2
Yeah.
in the morning.
Yep. Same. The only way I know how to get off TikTok is my phone will get really, really hot. Like, oh,
Oh,
I've used you too much, haven't I? Okay. I will put you
that's
down now.
me. That's me. It's so addictive. Oh my gosh, I love TikTok. Oh my gosh. Well, let me see. It looks like somebody, a couple more comments here. Somebody says she has what it takes and very impressive. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad you came on. You are so bubbly. Somebody said that great bubbly personality. So you guys make sure you go out and purchase her books, her new one. Absolutely. That sounds like that's going to be really
It's
good.
gonna be a fun ride.
Ooh, that sounds good. She goes, and you said it was a cruise she goes on anyway.
Uh-huh.
I know that's
Uh-huh.
right. Go visit
Trapped
that.
with this complete stranger who just happens to be cute. I mean
Oh,
I mean, There are worse things. That's all I'm saying.
I love it. Oh my gosh. Danielle, you are welcome here anytime. I'm so glad that you were able to grace the virtual stage.
Thanks for having
Best of
me.
luck to you.
Thank
Please
you.
feel free to come back and stay safe and warm out there with all that
Thank you.
snow tomorrow. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Get the generator going and
That's
all that
right.
good stuff. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you
Alright.
so much. You be
Thank you.
safe, okay?
Alright, thank you.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye. She is awesome. I love promoting other authors to come on and talk about their books. And it's just always so good because, as I said earlier, we live in a world where it's diverse, it's different. So I like her so much. So definitely you guys go check out her books and go to her website and go to Amazon, type in Danielle Bannister, and there you can find her. So glad she came on. Let's talk. Absolutely. So, you guys, as I close out the show, I just want to go over a couple quick motivational things. As we were talking earlier about forgiving and evil and all that good stuff. And the motivational quote I wanted to share with you guys basically says, always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much, right? Just forgive them and just walk away. And that's from Oscar Wilde. So just forgive them. And then also chapter Matthew 5:44, it says, but I say unto you, right? This is the Bible quoting it. I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you. So just forgive, and just keep it moving and pray for them. Also, one of the producers wanted me to say to you guys, please make sure you get your boosters, make sure you get your shots, get everything you got to get, because believe it or not, people are still dying of this thing. Some people are still saying they're not going to get vaccinated. They go into the hospital and they don't come out. I know they're saying Omicron is mild, but if you're not vaccinated, it can kill you. So just make sure you get boosted, get your vaccinations. And, I know it's controversial, but, you don't know what they're putting in the food if that's your stance on the vaccination. But I tell you what, I'd rather take my chances with the vaccinations than my chances in the hospital on a respirator. So please do that. As I tell you guys every week, make sure that you do one good thing for one person each day, and you can affect 365 lives. Stay safe out there. For those of you that are in the path of that wicked storm that's coming through, stay safe, stay warm. And if nobody has told you that they love you, know that I love you. Love on one another, forgive one another, and just keep praying. We're going to get through this eventually. So, with those words, I am out. Have a great weekend, guys.